Welcome back to the Success Catalyst podcast, everyone. My name is Nina Robert, and I'm your host. Today, we have a truly fascinating guest joining us. Simone Mahoney is a unique individual who bridges the gap between two seemingly disparate worlds, the rigorous world of criminal defense law and the flourishing health and wellness industry. Well, Simone, welcome to the show. Can you tell us more about what you do and how did you end up doing it?
Thank you so much for inviting me to come and speak and share a bit about my story on the podcast today. I'm honestly honoured to be able to do this. So just a bit about me. So I have been a criminal defence solicitor now for 24 years. Absolutely love it. The job's fantastic, and I still do. I started off very traditionally, going into working full-time in-house for many years. And it was only about 5 years ago when very sort of life-changing experience. I basically went from being a employee to entrepreneur through things that happened in my life, being sort of bullying at work and redundancy. And it made me look at things very, very differently and put me on a totally different path.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, your background is incredibly interesting. You've spent, you said, 24 years as a criminal defense lawyer and demanding and often high-pressured field, I guess. And yet you are also deeply passionate about health and wellness, running now a successful e-commerce business in that sector. So how do you find balance between these seemingly contrasting disciplines?
George, a lot of people do say, how can I do both things? Because they appear to be so wildly different.
Yeah.
But I think what it comes down to is that I have a very strong passion for helping people. And I think when you've got that passion, when your kind of job satisfaction comes from being able to make a difference to people, being able to help in people's lives, then it's kind of, it doesn't really matter in what way you can find to do that. So with the criminal law work, as I said, I was working in-house and had very different lifestyle then, and it is very high pressure. Still, I do a lot more private work, privately paid work now, but I still do the legal aid work and the crazy hours at the police station, working through the night and all of that. And it is very high pressured, but it is helping people that really need it, whether those people need representation because of their difficult situation or because they've been falsely accused. So whilst that is very tough, you can really make a difference in people's lives. And then with the health and wellness business, again, I not only help people transform their health, whilst the business has been around for 44 years and it's a B Corporation brand. And so it's to do the ethics and values of the company. But we do skincare and bath and body. I focus primarily on gut health because the gut focus, affects so much. When you know about gut health, it affects the skin, the mind, energy. So I'm really passionate about helping people transform their health, have better habits, helping them with their mindset, but also helping people then who fall in love with the brand, build a business and have, for want of a better word, a side hustle or build a business alongside what they do and help other people experience what it is like to have what I've now got. And I think it is good to have that, but one is very, very heavy and one is more fun and sociable. So it is really good, I think, mentally to have that balance as well.
Absolutely, I agree. And I mean, every success story would start with challenge. For you, I guess the challenge was, first of all, that bullying experience that you've went through, and then eventually balancing maybe a professional life, starting your own business while continuing as an expert freelancer in the law sector. So as you mentioned, you've experienced a challenging period with your bullying and redundancy. Can you share how you navigated this difficult time, and did it ultimately shape your approach to both the legal career and your entrepreneurial experience?
Yeah, I always say to people, I think sometimes, as I said, since starting the business, a huge part of that business is personal development and mindset. And if it hadn't have been for me finding that whole personal development world, I wouldn't have been where I am today. Mm-hmm. So I think you've got to, for anybody to be successful, you have to fail or make mistakes. or go through things, because you can learn from those experiences. And obviously, at the time when this all happened to me, probably 4 or 5 years ago, I didn't really understand personal development world at all. I was very on employee mindset. I'd go to work, I'd come home, I'd maybe go out, and and in that cycle, the 9 to 5, or well, probably it's not 24/7 cycle of work in that job, but I didn't do any personal development at all. So at the time when I was going through it, it was incredibly challenging. I didn't have the tools to deal with it. With hindsight and where I am today, I look back on that, and actually it was not one of the best, well, actually probably one of the best things that could have happened to me, because it put me on a totally different path. So with what happened and how kind of I navigated it at the time, I had left a very stable employed job, but I wasn't ever going to progress or go anywhere. So sometimes you do have to take a leap of faith and try something different. And I did. And unfortunately, obviously, I don't want to go into details because, but it wasn't what was promised to me. I was a very tough northern person. I was very strong, but being in a new environment where the people running the business, was very small business, were bullies. It kind of destroyed any self-esteem that I had. I was I sought help from the doctor for chronic stress. And it was a very, very difficult time. You get to the point where you question everything. I thought I was a good judge of character, and it was a supposed old friend of mine. So so many things, so many issues were going on. And I was dealing with the stress of that. Didn't have the coping mechanisms that I would have today. I was made redundant and given 1 week's notice. And so because of, it's a very difficult situation. Now I say to people, and because I've been through that, I can say, well, you have to prepare for impact. And this is why I'm so passionate about helping people have an additional stream of income alongside what they do, because you need to prepare for impact. You never know what is around the corner. Never in a million years would I have thought I'd have lost my job with a week's notice. I was so unprepared for it. And I think it's necessary for people to have a plan B income and have additional streams of income. So I was made redundant, and then that happened, and then I jumped ship to another firm that shouldn't have really taken me on, because that was not great either. They didn't have enough work for me, and I was made redundant from there. Couple of other moves that again were not the right things, but what it made me realize is that actually I never want to have another boss again. I think almost now, after all this time as an entrepreneur and having my own business, I think I'm probably unemployable, because I think once you've stepped into that entrepreneur's world, it's so different. So I'm still very passionate. So I'm still practicing as a criminal lawyer, but I do that on a freelance basis for a small number of firms, so I can always service their clients and give them the best client care. And it was around the time that happened that once I had basically got, sorted my mental health, I sorted the stress out and got myself in a better position mentally, I was then able to look at when a business opportunity was presented to me to realize the potential of it. And it was ever since joining that business that, again, I went from strength to strength because of the huge personal development mindset, community elements to it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that resonates so much with me, because I've been through a very similar experience. I was laid off from my job as well. Before starting this coaching business, I was a manager for a consulting company. And just one day they decided that my position was redundant and they didn't need me anymore. And I made the right decision to start the business before that happened. I was already aware that a job is probably not going to be enough, and it's not as safe as it may be, or it may seem to many people. I know that label of 9 to 5 means stability, means safety. But I mean, the recent few years have really shown that it's actually not, and you have to have at least one more stream of income. So
nothing's. I mean, when as a criminal lawyer, people think lawyers, doctors, or people think these are safe jobs that you have security. But the truth is, there is no such thing anymore. And and it is preparing for impact, and whether that is redundancy, bullying, or unfortunately friends of mine are dealing with bereavement at the moment. There's bereavement, there's illness. Preparing for impact is so important, because you just never know what is around the corner, and having that additional stream of income, that backup plan is just crucial. I think there used to be a time when maybe 5-10 years ago, people thought, oh, this side hustle thing was a bit of a fad. And I think now it's actually a necessity for
Mhm.
people to look to do that, but also find something they're passionate about as well.
Well, I do agree. And I think people are getting more and more aware right now. And this concept of having multiple streams of income and having a side hustle, at least a side hustle, like if it's really challenging or overwhelming, the idea of starting an entrepreneurship may seem to some people, they can like just start considering a side hustle, like an e-commerce business or something else, network marketing or something like simple to get started with. So that would really help, and that would add like this, I would say, feeling of power over your career, power over your income, and freedom. Like you can decide the next day that you don't want to work anymore, or you want to take a
Yeah,
year-long vacation. You have to be really aware that there are possibilities for you to live that life. And
definitely.
I guess you're a great example of that. You're still pursuing your passion in the law sector as a freelancer. So you're still doing what you do best, but you are also using your experience now as an e-commerce entrepreneur and helping people with their health. You said you specialize in gut health
Yeah.
products. Is that right?
Yeah, so the gut health, I mean, I'm so passionate. I could talk about, I'm not going to talk about gut health because I'd be here all day, but it is when you see the difference it's made to people, but it's a very holistic approach. One of my kind of best success stories was a lady I helped recently who'd been through a very difficult time,
Mhm.
through bereavement over the last couple of years and had really kind of lost herself. And it was a combined approach. So I introduced her to a local personal trainer, but on a very small level, so she could do small things. And we have, as part of our business, actually, if anybody is interested, these totally free calls, which are life-changing, called the BeWell calls, and it's personal development calls. They are every weekday morning, and you can watch all the recordings in a Facebook group. But they're incredible because, I mean, the idea behind it is the more people in this world that are personally developed, the better. So we share those with people, and a combination of that and dealing with her gut health and the nutrition. This woman's an inspiration to me. Her life has changed. She's actually, from all the changes that she's gone through, her work have seen such a change. She's now been asked to speak to her work colleagues and hold talks on her transformation. So it's so powerful. When you can make a difference in somebody's life, it's the most incredible thing. And really, it's simple because the business model that I do is simply word of mouth recommendation, which we do all day, every day. You know, people will listen to your podcast, and if they resonate with it and they enjoy it, they're going to recommend that to their friends. But, you know, we naturally recommend things, and that's all kind of my business model is. It's recommending things that you authentically love and use.
I love that. I think it's very important that we integrate this desire to help other people and this desire to bring more awareness to health, to fitness, to overall well-being into our everyday life. I believe everyone can do something kind or purposeful or just do something to provide value in everyday aspects, like talking to your friends about the product that you're trying or talking to someone about your area of expertise, see if you can help them. I really love that. So is there like something else you want to say about how you do that, how you integrate this desire to help people into your everyday life, both professionally and personally?
I think because it's all the overarching principle of this is being able to, it's helping people with the product side, it's helping people have sustainable, healthy habits. And the mindset and the community. People crave community. I think we saw that over the last few years. I won't mention, but you know, people need community. It makes people happy that we're human beings. We need to be with other people. And I think that community is very important. So in my legal work, I think it's added a different dimension to the way I am, because when I'm dealing with clients, one of my strengths that people, and, you know, I'm very fortunate that obviously I do get nice testimonials back because the clients will then tell the firm that's instructed me, and it's the way I make them feel. It's the client care side of it, looking after those people, and really listening, being a good listener and help, you know, making people feel heard. So the personal development and mindset work that I have done in the business overlaps because it enables me to then help those clients in very, very difficult situations. And yeah, I mean, it's very, very easy. The business I do fits into everyday life because, you know, most people, if you say to somebody, how are you? Within about 5-10 minutes, it's human nature that people will normally say, oh, I'm tired. Oh, I'm exhausted. Oh, I'm stressed. You know, people like to talk about their problem, and they will tell you. If you're a good listener, people will tell you how they are genuinely feeling. And I have got the answers, the solutions for that to really, really help people. So it fits in as a business model, it fits in very easily around life. And yeah, I mean, there's obviously there's full training and support and all of that. But, you know, whether it is simply recommending products to people or whether I can help people, the business side of it. Sorry, I've gone off piece a bit with the question, but just one thing that I'm passionate about as well is with the business model.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like in the legal world, actually, or in many other professions or in corporate world, where there is no discussion about the gender pay gap because it doesn't exist.
Okay.
There is no gender pay gap. It doesn't matter your sex, your age, your religion, where you're from, your background, because it's a level playing field. And what I love about that is that it's effort based. So if you are the sort of person that puts the work in, you get the results. There's no glass ceilings. And that's another reason why I'm passionate about it, because it's for everybody that actually wants to make a difference.
I love that. And I think this is one of the reasons why many entrepreneurs decided to become entrepreneurs, because being an entrepreneur, meaning you are your own boss, but it also means that it's also, as you were saying, it's effort based. So the more you do or the better you do things, I don't believe in hard work. I believe in smart way of working. The better you do things and the better service you provide, the better your life is going to be. And that really translates it into many, many aspects of our lives, be it our health routine, our business model, the way we communicate, the way we listen to people. I mean, the better you listen, the better you can find a solution, or the quicker you find a solution and resolve conflicts. So this is really, really valuable advice. So thank you, Simone. And I see like you've already achieved so much already. And I wanted to ask you, are there any new ventures or goals that you're working towards?
So in my business, there's kind of 4 levels, and I'm in the second of the 4, which isn't, for me, it's an incredible achievement. Obviously, you've always got to be, I'm a huge fan, obviously, practicing gratitude. And I'm so grateful because the level I've reached means it's a direct representation of how many people I've helped. And it means my business is a willable asset, which I think is, again, something that's unheard of in any other kind of industry. My goal is obviously to then get to the 3rd and the 4th level of business. And why it's so beautiful, it's a pay it forward model. I can only be successful in this business if I get to that top level of the business by helping others succeed. So every single person that I introduce to the business, I help them, I train them, I mentor and support them. And we can handpick who we work with. I mean, we can handpick who we want to build this alongside, and we have a community and we have get together. So it is really amazing, because those people that have a work ethic and actually who want to build something special and have that community, it's available for them. And, you know, the more you help others, the more you personally succeed. So, yeah, I want to obviously be at the top of the company, but bring every single person up with me, because that is a pure representation. You can only do that by helping others and transform others' lives.
Well, I love it, because that reminded me of a conversation I had a while ago, and someone mentioned that they were actually afraid of their success, because the more they succeed, the more probability they will end up lonely at the top.
Oh,
And that was like a
that's
way
sad.
of seeing things, because the solution is very simple. Just bring everybody else with you to the top, right? So this is exactly what you're doing. This is why I love it.
Yeah, you can't just sit back on your laurels. So in the way our business model works as well is that if I introduced the business to somebody tomorrow and they were ridiculously hungry and they went for it and I trained them and supported them, they would out earn me. You don't suddenly, it's not like there's one person and everyone's under you. That person that I introduced tomorrow could easily out earn me in 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
And overtake. And that's what it's like. It's the most brilliant, fair business model and structure.
Yeah, I love these business models because they are about creation, not competition.
Yeah,
It,
yeah.
it's competitive enough to keep you motivated and to inspire to do what other people are doing best and to
Mm,
learn from other people. But your success does not mean someone else's failure. It
yeah.
doesn't have to be like that. And I guess this is quite different from the corporate world's philosophy of
It's
success.
very, very different. It's so different. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, normal, when you're working in the corporate world or when you're an employee, it's totally different, which is why I don't think I could ever go back to that world again.
Oh, absolutely. Me neither. So I have a last question for you, Simone. If you could share one piece of advice with our listeners who are looking to create a more successful and fulfilling life, what would it be?
Oh, is it difficult? Just have one. I mean, personal development is huge. I mean, I think the thing is that if people are looking to up level their lives and to make a real change, it's a two-pronged approach. It's looking at the nutrition and gut health, which is crucial
Mhm.
to feel better and have more energy to be able to do more. But then also it's the mindset. It's creating those better, healthier habits for their mind, practicing gratitude daily. And and it is, have a conversation about looking at a multiple stream of income, because at the end of the day, true wealth isn't just about the money. There is no point in earning ridiculous amounts of money if you do not have the life to spend it. The ultimate aim for people, what true wealth to me is to do what we want, when we want, with who we want, because time is precious. Time is the one thing that you can't buy, you can't ever get back. And I've had people around me recently. I've lost friends in the recent years, and I just think life is so precious, and I think it's important that you literally make it count and be so grateful for what you've got. But also, if you haven't got a way in your life now that's going to give you that passive income, give you that opportunity to earn money when you sleep, or earn money for the hours that don't exist in your life, then you really need to start looking. I mean, if anybody wants to speak to me about what I do, I'm more than happy to help, and people can connect. I don't know if you want to share my links anywhere. I always say to people, the business that I do may not be the right fit for everybody, but it could be. And I always just say to people, all my job is to share that information and let them make an educated decision, because people always think they know what it is, but unless you've actually sat down and really understood it, you may not know. So there's quite a few bits of advice, but that's, I think, what I'd say.
Well, they're all so valuable. So thank you so much, Simone. And I would like to add something about passive income and the importance of having multiple streams of income that I learned just a few years ago, but it opened my mind to so many things in so many areas of my life that I can make better and enjoy more. Because I started asking myself, what do I really want? Is it the job? Is it the position? Is it the prestige? Is it the income, the salary? Or is it just to enjoy my life? And if I wanted to actually enjoy my life, I have to decide, like, how do I want to do that? And then eventually make an educated decision how to make aspects of my life, different aspects of my life, relevant or optimized for this vision to be accomplished and achieved. Like if I want to travel, I don't know, 30% of the year, I have to have a business that I can do remotely. I have to have a business that is passive, that does not require me to be present in the office every day, for example. These are
Yeah,
things that we ought to ask ourselves. And I think many people get like caught in the rhythm of every day, in the daily routine, and eventually they forget to ask this question. I think it's very important that we stay aware and we stay conscious about our decisions. And it's never too late to make another decision. Just shift perspective and start all over again. May seem scary, but it's not, because it's even scarier to say where you are until it's the end, and then you're retired and you're too tired and too ill to
yeah.
travel, to enjoy life.
It's never too late. I mean, unfortunately, I had to go through that horrible situation, because before that, I was just an employee, and my mind, I was almost quite close-minded, and it took that impact to
Yeah.
make me see something else. But now I've seen both sides. I think I can obviously help people because I've seen how it can be done.
Oh, I love that. So, tell us, how do people, or how can we contact you and interact with you, maybe know more about your business and what you're doing?
So I have a LinkedIn page, and I'm also on Instagram, and people can connect with me, which is my name, Simone Mahoney, which is Mahoney, Simone Mahoney 1. Or if they reached out to you, perhaps you could share my links. But I'm always open to have a conversation with people. I love people. I'm very much a people person, so I'm more than happy to have a chat, whether that's about gut health, business, life, or even just to talk through, because like I say, having been through the bullying at work and redundancy,
Mhm.
and I think obviously when you get obviously when you get a little bit older, you have life experience as well. So I'm always open just to having conversations with people and see if I can help. And if I can't, I'm happy to connect them to other people who can, because I do a lot of networking and may know people that they could also help with.
I love networking too, and I think it's a big asset to any business and any human connection, because the more you can help people, the more you can reach, the more you can feel fulfilled as well. I believe in living by giving the impression of increase to every person who come around us, and if we can add a value, no matter how small it may seem, we can make somebody's day. We can make someone's whole life. We can change something. We can shift something in their mind to help them achieve a better life. And I think this is what being an entrepreneur is about.
So just talking about adding value, yeah, if anybody wants the link to the BeWell calls as well, again, they're totally free. That is huge value to anybody going through it. I mean, you don't have to be going through something just to start your day. It's like half an hour. It's a short meditation, gratitude, affirmations, movement, and education section, but it truly is life-changing, because it's an incredible habit to start implementing into your daily life.
Well, that's brilliant. I would love to check it out. And I'll make sure to add all the links that you mentioned in the description of the episode. So to our listeners, you'll find in the description the links to interact with Simone. I have to thank you again, Simone, for being an exceptional guest today. And thanks to all our listeners, and we'll see you back in the next episode.
Thank you.